long story short, I've owned 10 DSMs. A few of them being turboed, some of them not being. You know, one was automatic, but pretty much all manual. Most of them were turboed, and this would be my second all-wheel drive. Now, my buddy had this car. He got it from Florida about 3 or 4 years ago, so it's almost a completely rust-free shell, which is very hard to find nowadays. And the body itself is in really good shape compared to all the other DSMs I've seen. The outside of the car, repaint this mirror, stuff like that, you know what I mean? Just clean up the trim. The only thing being the steering wheel is kind of banged up, so might down the road get a racing wheel, get some aftermarket racing seats maybe. And the car's really not in bad shape at all. What's up, guys? So we just did the title transfer on the GSX today, so it's officially in my name, which is awesome. Big news is today the GSX is going to get power. I got a battery for it, so we're going to see what all works and what doesn't. It's all the electrical, all the interior lighting and wiring and such is good and everything works before we get into doing everything else. Alright guys, so it's nice and warm out today. I got the GSX outside and I diagnosed some of the wiring issues. So I was wondering about all of this wiring here. This is all the wiring I've pulled out of this car that's not factory. All this is like speaker equipment, subwoofers, all that. All these wires are spliced off the factory harness. Back at the fuel pump again. I don't need that. What is going on here? I have no idea. There's a controller to set the fuel. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is like something you'd see in a 1,000 horsepower car. I believe all of this. This is ridiculous. About as good as I can get it right now. As far as the car goes, in the process of stripping it down right now to start painting everything. Gonna paint, you know, I'm gonna do all the jams, so I gotta remove all this weather stripping, gotta, you know, pull the panel. Alright, so I went ahead, put a coat of primer on this. Alright guys, so as you remember, the engine bay is done. Something exciting happened the other day though. Now we got our whole quarter panel done. Here's an old 420A Eclipse. Has a little turbo sticker on the back. A little non-turboed 420A. The junkyard picked all this up for $2. It just traces the carpet, and that's how I'm going to cut this. The actual stock piece. The trunk's not going to be for show anyway, but obviously, I don't know. I want to clean it up a little bit, make sure I got color in behind everything and I didn't have to tape up where the sunroof went. While I had this out of the car, I'm actually going to try and clean up all this rust and make it nice, the roof, before I put it back in. I kind of want to switch gears and try and get the inside of the car done. Alright, so we have quite a mess here on the table. But the chip inside has all these little mini LEDs. Testing to make sure all this works. Since the re-dye, I'll actually insert a picture right now of what it looked like the first round. It was like a bluish purple. It was pretty ugly. But now it's looking pretty good. I have this section here the whole way around, and it doesn't. It's also got a crack in it somewhere. That looks so good. So much better. What I was back here was I tried to wire up the fuel pump. So I got the casing off, now I just got to pull these faces out. And I got them hooked up, so if I touch these two, the car, there was a hole here. But basically I took a little piece of plastic, welded it on, and then I put LEDs behind that. As soon as I flip on the light switch, the gauge cluster, the HVAC controls, the cigarette ring, the light that I put in here, shift gauges. I got a set of Sparco R100 seats. Okay, so the wheel's in now. The horn works. Guys, so the seats are done. The seats are in the car now. See, I did underneath. There's not a whole lot of body work that needs done on this door. hopefully get it painted within the next few days. It's starting to look pretty good. It's starting to come together. Got my fender liners today, and then we'll put it back together. But just imagine that spot I just did. Gotta do the entire car. Clean that quarter panel is now. Continues the whole way through the door, the fender. It just looks amazing now. I did buy this obviously a little while ago. Both ball joints here on the control arms are shot. I've been wanting to just completely get rid of this wiring harness, and I just haven't been able to find one. I have the box to awesomeness right here. All the connectors are here, nothing's cut, nothing's messed with. They folded it in half. Like, I'm gonna have to heat it up really hot and try and unbend this thing. Guys, it is out. There it is. Here's the new one. Primed, I already primed them with a 2K primer. Well, the motor just got here. I don't see any abnormal wear. Pretty freaking shot, man. It's in pretty rough shape. The flywheel's pretty rough. Here's the rear calipers on the fronts. So I got the first fitting on. It looks pretty good. Got the fitting on the fuel pump right there. Painted the block. So here's the replacement lower control arms for the rear of the car. I got the front mount intercooler mounted. Now it's time for the scary part, which is cutting the bumper up. Rough idea how it's gonna look. I'm starting to finally put the interior together. I got the ECU in. All the wires are pretty much, you know, all tied up, heat shrunk. Okay guys, so the radio install is officially done. Basically there it is. I have the cable plugged in. Android Auto is functional. Everything is working. Should be able to slide the transmission on. Guys, so it's the next day, and obviously the engine is in the car. Connecting the transfer case. I'm getting rid of the T25. There's the factory gear oil. Working on the passenger side, and the ball joint, it stripped it out somehow. So I think I got pretty much everything in. I have the coolant lines reconnected. I have the intercooler piping hooked up. Put the radiator in, put the fan in. Something wasn't going on right with the starter, and I still have to take the flywheel back out. You can see the edge there. It's cut.